We're going to be talking how to graph a quadratic function. So let's start with some definitions. First off, a quadratic equation looks like y equals x squared. So the function would be like f of x equals x squared. Same thing, because f of x and y are the same thing. Recall that a function has input values that are called the domain and output values that are called the range. And a quadratic function produces a graph called a parabola. Okay, those are just some key terms there. So let's do this here. Let's plot some points. No, we're not going to plot symmetry plots. But say if y equals x squared, and I just picked some values for x, and I tried to pick small numbers because they're easy to work with. And I would do this here. If I just go plug it in, and I take -3, and notice anytime I do this in a graph, I take wherever the x is and make it a parentheses and square it. Because big trick here, if you always do this, your calculator will always get it right, because this means -3 times -3, not 3 squared to make it negative. So it's +9. So then this will mean -2 times -2, which is a 4. And this will -1 times -1, which will be 1. Of course, 0 times 0 will be 0. 1 times 1 will be 1. And 2 squared will be 4. And then 3 squared is 9. And so if I come over here and I plot these points, it will look like the following. Those are the points plotted. And so that's what my parabola looks like. Y equals x squared. It's a parabola, has the shape right there. So it's kind of pretty straightforward. That's what the graph of y equals x squared is by plotting points. All right. So I could also do this here by simply define this right here. This should really be a y1 now that I look at it. But we're putting our values in here. If I put it for y2, if I have -3, my regular one, when I squared it, give me 9. Yet if I take 9 and minus 4, I get 5. If I take 4 and minus 4, I get 0. Thus, I'm taking the same graph for x squared, and I'm just minusing 4 from these values. So that's why the values, as you will see. So what that does to the graph is this. The graph doesn't change its shape. All it did was just move down 4, and it would look like that. I was just showing a vertical shift of the graph, how this affects it. And this is just showing it by plotting the points.